Good afternoon, everyone. Well, it's been a long time coming, hasn't it? But at last, we're about to find out the final team for this year's and next year's Rugby Europe Championship. Most of those players have not seen match action for over a year now, but they have to remember and revert to their match day preparations. Andrea Piardi heading up an Italian quartet of officials this afternoon. I'm Simon Ward. Alongside me, delighted to welcome England Sevens captain and Leeds and Newcastle centre Rob Vickerman. Rob, these players have been waiting so long to get out in the park. They must be chomping at the bit.
Oh, so must be excited for it. You can say the general sense of excitement across the board. And the thing is, as players, so often you talk about wanting to play at the highest level to try and challenge yourself against the best players. And now, very realistically, this is 80 minutes to fulfil those words, to try and up the skill level, up the ante and play at a higher level. That's all these players want, and I'm sure there's a range of emotions. Nerves will be up there, excitement, and like you mentioned, the adrenaline, the sheer passion about to come out for these next 80 minutes is going to be a thing to behold, I'm sure.
Well, players just trying to focus themselves on what they've been working on in practice, making sure that they can settle into routine as quickly as possible. We're at Waterloo, just south of Brussels, the venue for this one. Not far away, the site of Napoleon's last European decider himself, of course, but that was over 200 years ago. Now we are going to find team number 6 for the 2020 Rugby Europe Championship. It's such a big match, this one. Thomas Dint said, this weekend, two dreams collide. There's 11 finals to go to the World Cup. Saturday is the first. Well, big dreams, big ambitions for both Belgium and Netherlands. One team will be smiling in an hour and a half's time. Who's it going to be? Alan Williams with the start. And there'll be plenty of nerves out there, that's for sure. It's going to be, well, it's been a long time since the players were in competitive action, really.
It's like riding a bike though, Ward. I'm sure it'll come back to them really quick. Just get those processes and principles out there early, play to your game plan initially, and then hopefully things will loosen up a bit.
And it is that, isn't it? It's playing to that game plan, not trying to make everything happen in the drop of a hat. The Netherlands trying to just get ball on hand, just settle themselves into something of a routine. Matches between these two. Belgium lead 15-10. Been a couple of draws in those matchups. Last met February 2016 in Brussels. Belgium the victors there 32-8. As I say, this is a very different outfit wearing orange. There are no players that played in that Lithuania game in the starting 15. So they may well take a while just to settle into syncopation, should we say. Nice little kick through, giving the Netherlands a chance to attack down that left-hand side with Verenka. One of the three professionals in this Dutch outfit.
Offside, never onside.
Offside call is there. Cop trying to keep some rhythm to it, but they'll go back to that earlier call.
Whoa, what a fascinating couple of minutes. We've seen already the Belgium team coming out, firing off the line, really trying to put pressure on with their defence. One tackle taking them 10 metres behind where they started, and then a couple of really good astute kicks in behind. And expect that if teams fly up off the line, you've got to use a kicking skill set to try and get in behind them. Really good defence from Belgium, but actually the moral of that one was a victory towards the Netherlands with their attacking play.
Jens Torf just taking his time before he lines up this first kick. Probably the most experienced in the... Sorry, that's David Wiersma, I should say. One of the most experienced in the Dutch ranks. plays his club rugby over in Spain. One of the 3 pros, as I mentioned, that's being paid to play the game at the moment.
I think of worse places to play, I'll be honest.
Does it beat Headingley?
It does.
Bishma doesn't find the target with that first one. Well, as I mentioned, it's kicking on plastic, and that always sometimes has its own technical adjustments that have to be made. So, Belgium get away with that first one. Good link play. Takes them up into opposition territory, Williams. Having a look down that right-hand channel and making some good yardage there. Cock.
Stick down.
Good drive. Halfback's happy to let the forwards devour that before releasing this back line. Belgian numbers on the back's not brilliant, it has to be said, but we'll make the best of what we can see. Andrew Piardi, very experienced official, both in Pro 14 and indeed the World Cups as well. Good tackle from Von Kampen, the Netherlands fly half, making sure his target didn't get away.
It's a fascinating tempo from Belgium here, looking for those offloads, the big men carrying, but not been happy to take the ball down. They're really trying to keep that ball alive. Bearing in mind, we're only 5 minutes into this game, and it's already quite high-risk offloads. It's good to see.
One wonders how much it'll take out of legs and bodies in that second half. You know, we can talk all we like about training, but of course, match stamina is a different thing. Williams hangs one high, testing out that Dutch back 3, Campbell up to it, and the release to Hop. Jurenka. Well, Netherlands have made some hay down that left flank already inside the first 6 minutes of this game.
No, he's black. Away. Okay, ball is there. He's your man. Play on. Away two, thank you.
Belgium staying stern around the fringe, and there's a turnover ball there for the release as well. Doesn't find touch, or does he? Yep. Touch has been given. So Netherlands really testing out the Belgian defence, but the black line staying firm thus far.
Aren't they just? And it all stems from this missed kick early doors. You really want to be capitalising on that. Anytime you get territory, try and come away with points. The missed kick from Vishma meant that was a pretty crazy few minutes that followed. You were talking now about the 6th length of play we're on here, and these are saying big men. They're not going to be match fit because they've not had a chance to be. So there's definitely going to be ramifications later on in the game. But for me, the positives are just how both teams are coming out to play. You've got an amazing track. The weather's great. I hear there might be something wrong with the ref.
Looks like there's some repair work there for Mathieu Veskelden, one of the locals. He and Julian Massimi play here for ASUB. Indeed, Massimi, the replacement prop, is a policeman, and I'm told his office is just next to the pitch, so I'm sure some of his colleagues will be looking on with a certain amount of interest.
I hope that doesn't accentuate any type of crime happening today, as all the police force might be busy. What a start. I'd say the first few carries we saw from that man on screen there, De Konic's pretty impressive. Wearing 6. I think his offload is better than his drop kicks from the effort of that restart.
Stay 10, please.
Playing his club rugby for Provence. There
he goes.
And this is where Glenn Gardner, I was talking to last night, says that the Netherlands really have to compete in this short pick and drive phase, because this is where Belgium will try and dent the Dutch defence. And there's a turnover there for the Netherlands.
Some knock-on. Advantage.
Loose ball, and they're going to have to play from deep. Alan Williams looking for advance down the right. Of course, on the harder 4G surface, you can never be quite sure how the bounce of the ball is going to work. With the release. The Mulder in there as well, the big number 8 with the ball. Works its way back to the visitors' possession. Coleman. Interesting character, Dave Coleman. Have boots, will travel. 2 years with the Leicester Tigers Academy in the UK. Then out to New Zealand, where he played for North Harbour age groups. And now with the Brive Espoir, Jeremy Davison, no doubt, will be schooling him.
Use it.
Just a sense of everybody catching their breath now, understandably. Yeah. Such has been the frenetic first 10 minutes.
I suppose it can happen. You wait 12 months to play a game. You want to try and do it all in the first 10 minutes. You get that, but that's where experience comes in. And these are known as your exit sets, how the 9 and 10 can control the ball to get it off the pitch. Because as you can see already, the big men are starting to blow a bit just in terms of their output. It's really significant amount of running, and it's fast yards on a pitch like this. So get control of the game. You tactically click a bit more. You'd hope it goes a little bit further, because now chance for the Netherlands to really use a platform to drive from here. Or not.
The overthrow is not going to help the Netherlands there. Accuracy in the set piece will be so important. Clean take from Campbell. Another man who's made the most of rugby to travel the world, see the sights, meet the people.
Interesting call there, taking the short arm, calling a mark. There was no defender within 25 metres of Campbell at the back, and because he stopped the play, there's a chance to clear the lines. But again, you'd hope to get the other side of the halfway line from that position there. So whilst we just saw the Netherlands with a good attacking opportunity, 40 seconds later, you've now got Belgium in a position where they can try and rumble up front. And having seen a few of their games this campaign from last year, they do like a driving maul. They've got some big players, as you can see from this shot, and they often tend to like to control things. Shortened line out though, see what they're going to do.
Going to the front, safe ball to De Mulder. And De Koninck again making dents, making some headway. Belgium are into the Dutch 22 now. What can they work from here? Plenty of players offering to cut different angles, but just unable to make the headway they were looking for. And there was a knock forward from the handling, which is going to give the Netherlands just a chance of a breather.
And that's where that magic word of tempo really comes into it. A wonderful charge initially. Again, De Koninck, how good has he been getting the team over that gain line? But then once you've got that fast ball, it's what you do with it. You don't want to force it in those situations. And these lines they're running, whilst creative and adventurous, it's just a higher risk. And when you're in the opposing 22, you want to keep hold of the ball, build that pressure. Yes, look for quick balls, but don't try and force it.
Shoulder out, shoulder out. Perfect. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Big pressure coming in on the Dutch 8. Well, they knew the challenge that was ahead of them, but my goodness me, they've just felt it there, haven't they?
Certainly have. You can't replicate scrums like that on your own either. That's the thing. You know,
Push straight and not like this, okay? Understand
pushing
me?
straight's
Push
the call
straight
from the
and not like
referee,
this.
but it's part tactical. It's part just power. I mean, the size of this Belgian pack completely outweighing their opponents, and that counts for so much. Pressure's really on now, because once you get an upper hand early in the scrum, you're never going to relinquish that.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Again, huge shove, and Koolman does well to get that ball away. Schmidt sends it away from the danger area. That's a good follow-up from Norman. They say the kick is only as good as the chase. Well, King Norman made that a very good kick. Mulder kept up the focus for Belgium, but they're inside their own half now and having to go from a lot deeper, feather in the cap from a Dutch perspective.
A massive space out on this wide right-hand side if they did want to go.
Tackle coming in on the Belgian winger, and I think it was Wolf van Dijk. Well, if you want an open side, you want an open side called Wolf van Dijk, don't you?
Yeah, not only that,
great tackle.
Make him look like that as well, please, because he looks pretty thick set, doesn't he? He's got hair like Blanca off Street Fighter, so off he goes with this chop tackle, makes the hit, but then over the ball straight away. That's what I like to see. In the baking heat with a hot floor, you don't want to be having a hair. That's like some sort of Royal Soldier's hat, so fair play to him. Not only does Wolf van Dijk sound hard, he plays pretty hard.
Impressive work from the Dutch number 7. I'm trying to think, wasn't there an Italian flanker that you were playing for you at Leeds? With you at Leeds?
We had a few, yeah. Maribel
that's similar.
came at one point. Alex Persico was the guy that was.
Persico, Aaron Persico.
Yeah. His hair was a bit more permed than that, though. I think Van Dijk's gone for more of a raw back-combing approach. But it's a lovely clearance kick. I have to get the neighbours round for that one. It just cleared the grounds, didn't it?
Can we have our ball back, please? Right, so Netherlands move forward. Quarter of an hour gone, still nothing on board. The only penalty opportunity fell to the visitors, but Benchma couldn't take it. Can his team take something from this opportunity now?
Stay down. Not like this, okay? Both of you. Both of you. Just a message for you. Okay?
Let's go, boys. We stay low.
On the evidence of the last two scrums, you would think this will be a Route 1 ball.
Crouch.
See how Koolman's going to work off it.
Set.
Oh, I beg pardon, Belgium put in, of course. But still, the Dutch 8 working hard to destroy any sense of opportunity, and indeed coming away with the ball now. Here we go with Campbell, former Tasman schoolboy, with his first real opportunity. Kirchner sets things up once again. Penalty goes against Verskelden.
Deliberate knock on. I think Verskelden's quite lucky there, because in that situation, if it is deliberate, it could well have been 10 minutes in the bin. fair play to him. That is a long way down for such a big man. In fact, they've borrowed him from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, there's two second rows with wonderful images for Skeldon and Walker. They call Walker the Dutch Viking, and you can see why. The Netherlands captain. Everything you want, image and performance from a second row.
Sorry, mate.
There he is at the back of the frame.
Viking.
There's no mistaking him, is there?
It's certainly not. No, fair play. One of those people you probably never argue for having opponents.
No time off. No water, please. Okay.
Lekker mannen! Gaat goed! Gaat lekker mannen!
There's great progression for the likes of Piardi as well. These games, you know, want to be refereeing on the big matches, and is a really experienced referee. As you mentioned, his route through Pro 14 is great. He used a lot of the under 20s as well.
Yep. Well, we've had to wait till nearly the end of the first quarter to get a score on the board, and it's gone to the visitors as David Wiersma nails that one. And it's the Netherlands that get the points on the board first up. No such thing as a straightforward kick, but that's straight in front. And the Dutch vice-captain doing the necessary.
And hopefully that's maybe one of those settlers, you know, get a few points on the board. You can maybe then calm down the tempo and make it less frenetic, but you never know.
Jordy Hop goes a-wandering.
No. Advantage, knock on.
Loses the ball in the contact, and Belgium now can try and get into position to get something going. Granger.
Advantage over.
Good presentation. Cock out to De Mulder. Mulder keeping going, following in a great family tradition. Both his father and his brother represented Belgium. Lally coming on to feed, but he's been shepherded away there by Varenka.
Let him. Stay back, 7.
Still, Belgium putting the foot on the throat of the Netherlands. Almost, but not quite. Feed is there, but it goes loose. De Mulder couldn't hold on to it. Some heart being shunted back away from the 22. And here come the Netherlands. There's nobody at home in the back. Well, big feathers in Dutch caps for that period of play. Defensively outstanding.
Oh, wasn't it just? These are really big guys carrying the ball close to the line. You know, any type of half tackle, and they're probably going to drive over it. And it was the big man we mentioned how probably their first 20 minutes of this game is making an impact. And for Skeldon, just not able to take it. And then the Dutch really well capitalised on it, didn't they? Cut the first kick initially, and the second one just made it run a little bit further in behind. The net gain is some 80 metres.
Well, no question which camp's the happier at the moment.
Let's
but
go.
Of course, a long way to go yet. This tournament across this year and 2022 will of course determine Europe 1 and Europe 2 qualifiers for the Rugby World Cup 2023 in France.
Time off. Okay.
May feel like a long way for these guys at the moment, but never say never.
It's just having that hope value, isn't it? That you know you've got a greater motivation every single time you train and play. It's a really driving conversation, isn't it, to head to those dizzy heights. It gives a real sense of purpose.
Stay. It's a knock on black.
Belgium line out doesn't work. And Langeland takes his team up to the 22.
Advantage over.
Rademacher keeping things moving. Campbell tries to take the outside arc. It's definitely advantage Netherlands at the moment, and you feel if another score went on the board, it would be a fair reflection of where this first 22 minutes has gone.
Well, it's redemption from the big man.
Yeah, good work on the ball for Skeldon.
He goes off his feet.
You have to clip that one up. Big rugby personality, Jim Hamilton. A little bit of a doppelganger for the likes of Skeldon, but you'd never see him do something like that. Drop tackle, then bang, straight over the ball. Wonderful turnover. That's a big, big steal. Get the ball back for your team. Move them into the Dutch territory. And now there's Belgian packs to hopefully rumble forward somewhat.
Okay? Thank you. Time off.
Of course, a number of players not available for the Dutch for this one. Josh Gascoigne, who scored 4 tries in that Lithuania game. He's returned to New Zealand, of course, with the travel restrictions that abound. Storm Carroll, not selected for this game. Kevin Krieger, the vice-captain, is injured. Dirk Dannon, the regular captain, is also out of contention. We've got a few that are plying their trade around the world. Koen Bloemen is in the National semi-finals this weekend. He'll be in the colours of Bourg-en-Bresse. Niels van der Veen is in the final of the Spanish League as well. So there are plenty of Dutch influence, shall we say, around the world. Although I see that Zeno Kieft, one of the most famous Dutch internationals, he's retired recently from La Rochelle.
How great is it to be able to look at these stories, Wardy, and just depict about how players get opportunity around the world? And it's always a thing, isn't it, when you talk about immersing yourself in a community. Next thing you know, if you go to rugby clubs, suddenly you've got 50 new mates. And it's the same thing, irrelevant of language, of country you're from. It's just great, wonderful part of the game of rugby in general.
Well, it's my favourite phrase, I think, have boots, will travel. And that's what rugby brings, and that's what so many people watching this, whichever country you're in, and good afternoon to you. Great to have your company. That's what it's about in so many ways. Goulden doing really well in the tight there. Rademacher feeding those forwards, and you get the feeling that those forwards, particularly in the loose, are getting a more and more voracious appetite. Over enthusiasm at the contact there, but they are really enjoying their work so far.
There's such competitiveness. Every single line-out that seems to be trying to get a little bit of possession is stolen, remarkably. I mean, Coman there in the middle of a driving maul, that is so hard to get back. And then, consequently, a missed kick to touch. It seems to be one thing good, but then one thing undermining it slightly at the moment for both teams.
Yeah, Campbell allowing his team to move back up to halfway. De Mulder trying to get some traction inside the Dutch half. You see the Netherlands outfit just hassling and harrying the ball carriers, forcing the unforced error. And very definitely, it may only be 3-0 on the scoreboard, but it's advantage Netherlands in this opening 25 minutes.
To approach this 30-minute mark, it's going to be very much contrasting thoughts of style of play. The big man up front will be wanting things to slow down a bit, be a bit more collision-based, whereas the backs, as they tend to do, want to keep it fast and fleet of foot. And those little errors, they are creeping in. It's partly fatigue, partly perhaps a bit of nerves, but just a really unstructured way of playing at the moment. And as big men, sometimes that can be quite hard to react to.
Well, Frederick Kopp made a point of saying that they have a new way to play. Cock, who was the technical director appointed in August last year, very experienced, been out assistant coach with this group before, been in Saint Etienne, been working with the women in Lille, which is a very prominent French women's team. This is his first game though as head coach after Guillaume Jacques ended his tenure after that Spanish game. You just wonder how different it is for those guys in black, whether they have not yet been able to work it into their instincts, into their habits, and as a consequence, just not able to find their groove as yet.
Yeah, and you can see that in club rugby. You know, often takes 2 years to adjust to that, and that's when you're day in, day out with everyone. So to me, it's a national programme, very much going to take time.
Campbell, a former Tasman schoolboy, part of that NACO system that's produced so much terrific rugby talent. To residency rules. Delighted, no doubt, to be wearing the orange. Handling of John Lehman just not up to what it's needed. De Mulder releases things to Conan.
Oh, what a shame. You can see where the space was behind. Hart tries to put it on his left foot to get it down there because Campbell was in the defensive line. That would have been a real foot race to see. But again, it just feels like the majority of this half has been in this middle third, and both teams really tussling with their set piece skills, be it scrum or line out, and just looking to try and gain some sort of upper hand in the game.
Hits his target. Wins fourth. Showing good strength. The co-captain taking his team almost up to the Dutch 22, but when the ball comes loose, it's Dutch hands on its first. Having to go from deep, but having the composure and confidence to try it. And Campen known for that sort of maverick running quality. The fly half will look for any gap he can find.
Use it, 9.
Stay back. Biding his time before getting that box kick up.
Backwards.
Causing requisite confusion. And it's Langeland who picks things up and resets for his team.
Push back.
Roger Conan up very, very fast.
Play on. They come back. Play on.
Van Dijk. There's a few forwards on that far side going, no, miss pass, not me. I'm not sure there's enough oxygen around Waterloo right now. It has been a very, very fast half an hour. Take from Lally. Well, the pass to De Mulder was always falling and fading. Well, they're still in the middle third of the pitch, but again, it's the Netherlands that have enjoyed that last phase.
We can rewind that all the way back to that initial charge, wasn't it, to the middle. Brilliant attacking play. But then, after the turnover, it's a case of those frustrated errors creeping back in. It's just that little bit of a dipping pass when you're hitting the defensive line. It's just so difficult to keep hold of it.
It looks like Kevin Williams is on the pitch as a replacement for Tom Cock. There he is on the far side. After a 3-year hiatus. Williams brothers, indeed, both of them bringing up a century between them. Alan is 57 now. ricochet not working for the Netherlands. All just a little bit haphazard. Mark Darlington worked his way back, and the Netherlands worked their way back as well, with Steve Norman making great headway. Half an hour gone, 3-0 to the visitors. And most of the positivity has come from the men in orange.
Oh, there's been so much positive stuff, but it almost be similar every single effort, that the ball then gets stolen or turned over, and it's just a real coach killer at times when you can see them building this incredible effort, and that wonderful line break then ends with the ball being thrown away. Just a case of trying to keep that possession and make that turn into pressure, which equates to points. And it's probably looking at this as Dennis just takes a bit of a breather, the real difference between the top level rugby that people maybe watch around the world, to say how they just play differently, to not necessarily burn your candle in your own territory or deep third, and just play a little bit more of a tactical game. Bearing in mind how much is at stake in this game. It's huge.
Well, it's the joy of watching what we're watching, isn't it? With the amateur ethos coming through, blending into some of the pros and semi-pros within their group, and it's a delight to see in its spontaneous work. But it's the work that the coaches have been doing in their 3 evenings a week, that they've been able to get the group together. And of course, it hasn't always been the same people because of limitations of the pandemic.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Ward. It's brilliant ethos, but I don't think any coach or player around the world would probably accept this many errors and turnovers, and just not tactically getting things wrong, but it's just pure execution, and those little moments where, you know, you're looking at a risk scale of it being a 90% to 10% chance of the offload sticking, then keep hold of it. And it seems like teams are almost trying to do something to really win the game at this point, when, you know, you're 30 minutes into the game. You just got to really get that build up, get that possession, get those territory stats up, because you know that's how rugby works. They will turn into points. That's what pressure can do to teams. But you're right, I think, you know, in terms of the overall storyline, these teams are really coming out and they're willing to play.
It's been such a long wait. Of course, the Netherlands won the Rugby Europe Trophy last year, won the 4 matches played against Ukraine, against Germany, Poland and Lithuania, but then had to wait to find out who their opposition would be. Belgium eventually finishing bottom, but when they played that Russia game that you mentioned earlier, of that 38-12, they were actually in 4th place.
Good one, very good.
To play Romania in 6th, but of course it had to be forfeited due to the travel restrictions of the Belgian government. You understand why. We all know the history of what's gone on, and that meant that it was a 28-0 game ostensibly given to Romania, and Belgium therefore finished bottom and therefore in this game. So they will feel that they have some points to prove in many ways in this match now, as the Netherlands work their way up into the 22, and there's the first try. It's gone to David Wiersma. What a break. They've been threatening it on so many occasions, and now finally they put the passes together, they sew things together, and it means that first 5-pointer is on the board, and it's for the visitors.
Oh, and it's exactly what you want to see, a highlight reel type thing. From the start, the own 22 metres, Hop gets it, then off he goes, the supporting play from the 12, and that's what has been promised in this 33 minutes thus far. Someone wanting to get it. It's Norman that actually makes the inroad first off, and the supporting play of any good centre knows you want to be somewhere near him.
Well, we've seen it already from Seam Norman, his ambition and his will to take the opposition on. Not sure who that. I think it could be Geordie Hop. I'm looking to see.
12, that's good.
Looks to be a problem there for the winger. But yeah, the other winger was looking for opportunity, found it, opened things up. And as you say, the role of any good centre, 12 or 13, is to get on his shoulder. Well, it's the fly half, not the winger. Jesse van Kampen struggling with that, what looks like a calf, maybe. Mace van Oord is on the bench. That would be like-for-like replacement for the Dutch. But the kick is good. The Netherlands are up into double figures, and the smile's definitely on the face of Dutch rugby right now.
And Vishma's got all 10 of them. That's where you want to be as one of your leaders of the team, supporting it, getting the points on the board. He puts a real bit of draw on his kicks, as we saw from the first couple, but that one executed to perfection.
Subs. Okay, subs. Okay, subs.
Jesse van Kampen being helped off. That's a sad sight for the 22-year-old.
Yeah, that's not good.
So we wake him and then okay. Time's still off now. No, I think so.
Well, the numbering of substitutes always a bit of a roll of the dice, but I'm guessing that that's Mace van Oord because he started at 10 in that last game against Lithuania.
Okay, let's go.
So, Belgium, if they didn't realise in the first instance, are up against it. 5 minutes to go in this first half. And it's all been about the opposition, really. Much as Belgium have had opportunity in the Dutch 22, they haven't been able to make anything of it. And that scoreboard just shows how much the Netherlands have been able to make of their opportunities.
Tricky situation to be in as a 10 coming on in the first half, knowing what's been building. You've got to almost slot in with how things are going, but put your own spin on it as well. A real sense of
Belgium, clear number.
directorship needed at 10 from Van Oord. I really like the look of Campbell as well, looking at this Netherlands team when they do get ball in hand. He's a threatening runner out wide. I want to see him with a bit more, hopefully.
Out of 15. Some more!
Well, Belgium resorting to type a little bit maybe with Dint
Number 6 from the side.
inviting his forwards to take them into
6
position.
from the side.
Owen Heiss has stepped out of position to give a penalty away.
Advantage.
Could it be required? Mulder. Transference on from Hart. Netherlands not contesting at the breakdown, making sure their defensive line is in place before the release. Kevin Williams trying to get a bit of momentum into these phases of play for his side.
But you're exactly right, Warder. They're just not committing. Take a look at the Dutch line at the top. They try and maintain a bit of width, and it really does suppress any type of attack.
Piari going back for that earlier
Number
call.
6 from the side. 6 from the side.
It must be good to know you got that as your foundation, your back pocket. You know, at any point you can get the big gun rolling on with these driving balls. So hard to stop, and that gained them 20 metres. So very much the case now of trying to kick to the corner and do the same thing again. You've seen it's worked first time round. Why change it?
Well, forward dominance has been the cornerstone of Belgian rugby for a number of years. And Alan Williams will know that his team now have to make the most of this opportunity before they hit the hatches.
Time off.
Yeah, of course. I got in that move.
Yeah. Stuck in my hair for 2 seconds or something. Okay. It's difficult to see that.
Yeah, I thought maybe.
If he's on his player,
Clever there, isn't it? These little conversations happening now.
There's no clear footage for him, so.
Okay.
Walker just getting into the referee about these driving mauls, what they're trying to do, what they think is going on against them. It's really clever tactic just to have those conversations with referees, because then naturally they're more drawn to see it, and if it is an indiscretion, then it could well be penalised.
Okay.
Especially as we don't seem to have had a scrum for a number of minutes, and that seemed to be a problem for the Dutch.
I'd tell you what, if they're wearing GPS units, they're probably going to break some records, because there's been a lot of running in this game.
Yeah,
okay, let's go.
Certainly has.
Let's go, boys.
Open a little bit, please.
On me, on me.
Being
Inside.
the good doctor, as he is now, former professional, of
Stay.
course, with Lille, but now enjoying the amateur side of things, mixed
Some more.
with his
8.
medical
Take
profession.
away now.
Well, you can see those forwards beginning to really make some headway against tiring Dutch legs now. Last couple of minutes of this first half. Kevin Williams just waiting for the call from outside him for the next one. Mulder pulls it back. Little chip over the top. Falling bodies, but referee says play on. And once again, Netherlands able to pick up the scraps and get themselves away from danger. Throwing the ball away. You can just see the fatigue really beginning to kick into both sides now. And the penalty to the Netherlands will be a blessed relief for those in orange.
No, you cannot do that.
It's the final fault. See, as the ball's thrown all over the shop, means there's a bit of a fractured attack as well as defence, and then isolation happens as soon as the man's over the ball. Very difficult to stop them there.
Okay, we have time to play. So it's 30 seconds. If you go out, there's time, okay?
There's a judge of character. What are you going to do? You've got 30 seconds. Referee's almost challenged you there. Fancy a go? Yeah, why not?
You're not going to tap and go from 22 right at the end of the first half, are you?
Well, the way this game's gone, that might well have been a tactic, to be honest.
You might have got garroted by those forwards coming up behind you. Those in single figures will be looking forward to that half-time whistle, that's for sure.
Last
I
play.
think we need like an honourable mention to Lely from the Belgium right wing, just trying to speculate through the middle. Didn't quite happen for him, but now he's going to be looking on to the big men, hopefully having a stamp on the end of this half.
Netherlands securing that line out. Van Dijk. And good dynamism. Now, what do they do from here? Well, just as I say, that Campbell can't take the pass.
15 knock on.
Is that going to be it for the first 40? Indeed it is, I think. Yes. Andrea Piardi says, let's have a break. Let's have a turnaround. Well, it's a fascinating half of rugby, which both teams came out so quickly from, but it's the Netherlands who took the opportunity with that second penalty from David Wiersma, and then the solitary try that we've seen in the first half that ended up with the inside centre going over. It's advantage Netherlands at half-time. At the turnaround, it's Belgium 0, Netherlands 10.
Gaan rollen geven en daar line uit en dan mols, rol en dan ze pakken ook de vliegtuig. Dus je moet zorgen dat daar niet zijn. Dat is de helft van de lijn dan niet. Dus die moet je ook zien. Ben je aan het kijken? Als die in het teruggezocht en die worden niet gewisseld, krijg je straf die fit zitten. Ja, nee, wij zijn veel aan het doen. Het ziet er goed uit. Erg bleven ook.
Advantage. Matte Giove. Matte, guarda che è successo.
Kom mannen! Kom on!
So, welcome back to Waterloo. What a first half we've saw. That the visitors, well, as the scoreboard represents the visitors, I would say deserving of that lead overall. Certainly they made the most of their opportunities. I'm Simon Ward, delighted to have your company with us this afternoon. Alongside me, Rob Vickerman, former England 7 skip. Vix, what did you make of that first 40 and what has to change from a Belgian perspective in order that it's a better second 40?
Well, I'm sure one thing they will be doing after that half-time is taking in a little bit of the energy gels, because that was a full-on 40 minutes from both teams, end-to-end stuff, which is always a great spectacle to watch. bearing in mind just how great it is to see live rugby anywhere in the world right now. But these two teams will certainly probably go back to what the game plan was originally, to say the tactic was a little bit probably too open that first 40 minutes, certainly for the Belgium team, who had really good impact to the game, but then gave the ball away all too easily. Whereas Amsterdam, conversely, looking a little bit more composed and certainly have firepower amongst their ranks as well. So play to your strengths, and this is going to be a very interesting 40 minutes.
Kom on!
Kom op Nederland, we kunnen het. We gaan ervoor. Afmaken.
Kom aan, Nederland!
Spelen een spelletje.
And the man of the half with the ball now.
Yeah, 40 minutes now to decide who will be playing in the Rugby Europe Championship for this season and indeed next season. And of course, it's a trail that leads to France for the following year. Big performances needed, particularly from a Belgian perspective, if they're going to change that scoreboard.
Kom op, jongens!
Bishma, the man of the moment from Netherlands fans. Kevin Williams, the conductor of this Belgian side, and you can see he's already tried to up the tempo, but again, a forward drive and a forward drive, but ultimately Belgium make no headway because they cede possession.
You ask about what the conversations would be at half-time. The Belgian team would be in there saying, whenever we get the ball, we must keep hold of it, stop these silly errors. First thing they do, big carry, and then it's the attritional defence, targeting the ball, and as it comes out, gets knocked forward. It's exactly how not to start a game when at half-time you'd be focusing on possession and territory.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Amir Radamaka. Secure possession from his scrum this time. Not always the case in that first half. Good Belgian defence, counter-rucking.
With the fit play on. Leave it, Steven.
They're still there though for the visitors. There's the big bad wolf, as they call him.
Okay, stay back. Use it. Stay on side. Back.
Well, no way that Geordie Hop was going to get there before the ball bounced, didn't he? The loose ball. Well, Belgium going quickly. Don't think the officials will let that carry on.
Avanti prima, Nero. Okay. So it's not come black before?
Another knock on. 2 minutes into the second half, and second knock on already clocked by the Belgium team. You've got to be frustrating. And there it was, just bouncing forward slightly.
Yes.
A lot of pace in this Dutch backline. Hopefully with a decent enough platform we get to see ball in hand out wide and see some of the flyers do their thing on what is an outstanding surface in the perfect rugby conditions.
Zane Gardner, of course, used to be the under-20s coach. Indeed, he took them to the bronze in the Youth European Championship. That's the talent that he knows is coming through the system for the Netherlands. And as you say, Rob, beginning to be given their head in the elite setup now. And of course, not only from a club, from an international perspective, Mark Darlington maybe not one of the fastest backs that we were talking about, but there will be clubs watching these pictures now, maybe for the first time aware of some of this talent coming through, and who knows where that may lead.
And you know that as a player, you know you're going to be able to not only use these clips for your own references, but wider audiences will be watching and looking at, you know, these little tiny things of requirements now that coaches want, and they need in abundance. And if you're, you know, a young upcoming player, or perhaps want to travel around a bit, as many of these players have, these are great opportunities to do so. And all you want is that chance to just show your strengths of the game, be it, you know, your scrummaging, line-out work, or broken field running. That's what you really want to see. But it takes a whole team to get that individual effort on case.
Bye. Set.
Well, look at that Dutch 8. That's a different story. And the ball comes loose, and Koolman hacks it through. Well, hurried clearance, and it's advantage Netherlands. Big moment in the game, this. Van Dijk gets it back. The Orange have to find their cool and their composure to make something of these opportunities, unexpected as that may have been.
There's a lot of orange bodies walking at the moment, need to get into their positions much quicker, because once they've got fast ball, they look dangerous.
Nice little offload from Andy Darlington. Van Ord having to pick up the bouncing ball, but it worked, and it's out for Norman. Oh, the referee's whistle's going to bring play back just for that fleeting second. Seeing Norman full glory in that left-hand corner.
And this is where it was. You can see what a difference Van Oord's made in this game, and looks to try and throw it across the front of the point scorer so far. And because he stuck his hand out, Vishnu can't quite get out the way. The ball speculatively gone across, and you want to see that man with the crazy hair, ball in hand, Van Dijk, get him in amongst it, because things are going to happen. But unfortunately, Norman gets brought back.
And interestingly, Rob, we've seen Van Dijk be that catalyst, that feed on several occasions now out wider. Much as he does a lot of the hard yards around the breakdown, when he gets out wide, he provides the extra man, and that's opened the doors on more than one occasion in this game.
It has, yeah. Talk about the link play, the number 7. Keep an eye on him, well worth watching. Got to be around the breakdown.
Penalty for the Netherlands, and look at the celebrations there. They are making sure that their opposite numbers realise how big that call is.
And what a shove it was. We saw it in the first one. Very much a different story from the first half, where we saw the Flemish pack annihilating the Dutch, and now it's almost the darker side of it all. Yes, you've just been dusted in the scrum, but don't then react to it, albeit you don't want to see scrum halves in your face like that.
That's the end of the story. Okay. Next time, if number 9 come in and say something, I penalize. Okay, I reverse the penalty. With your team, calm down. 17, second time that they'll speak with him. Okay, you must stay down, even him. Okay. Hi, that's the end. Okay.
Cool, calm, Andrea Piardi. But this is a huge 3 points.
Time back on.
If David Vierschma can nail it.
I reverse the penalty if you come here. Okay, inflame the situation.
He may be one of the pros, but the nerves are still jangling right now.
Yeah, certainly with the way he kicks the ball. He puts a lot of draw on it. He'll be aiming well wide of the right-hand post, and hopefully it swings round. Couldn't get better conditions.
Doesn't hit the target. Missed opportunity. Is that going to cost the Netherlands in the final spin out of this game?
Well, you've got to see that as 6 points missed, albeit he scored the try and converted his own on the back of the first half penalty. But you know, with the way he kicks it, he needs to be aiming well right. And that one was always going left. Terrible flight of the ball as well. It's difficult when you have got pressure on yourself as the kicker to try and get that points total moving forward. But that's very much 3 points that should have been got.
So, as in the first half, Belgium get away with a very kickable penalty, it has to be said, to the opposition.
How many are you, Gilly? How many are you?
Numbers, it's not a meeting. Numbers. What numbers?
It's disappointed there from
Belgium
Campbell
number.
running into touch. You know you want to try and get back into where you've just been. They did so well to get that penalty after some good enterprising play. And
Please.
it's just
leave
almost
the
an
channel
unforced
and
error
this
running to the
channel for
touchline when you plenty of field that you could hit.
A skewed throw, not helping Belgium's cause there. To the outside hand, very obvious to all and sundry that wasn't going to be allowed.
Option, scrum, line out.
When you're in the line out and having to reach to your left, that's never going to be a good thing, is it?
So I speak with them, and now I speak with you. You must stay down.
Joe, this should be interesting. What's going to happen here? Just in the first two scrums of this second half, being out and out points victory for the Dutch. Chance again to try and solidify it. You could perhaps push for the penalty, which would be a very savvy thing to do. Keep the ball in and work that penalty to get back in the corner from a line out. But psychologically, this is a significant scrum for both teams.
Set!
Clean set up for the Netherlands. Campbell just waiting for that cutback from Hook.
Deco, release, Deco!
Smooth
Good.
move
No
from
hands
the Netherlands back line. Rademacher. Little burst through from Van Oud. Van Oud is through. Van Oud, is he going to be stopped? Cutters to a halt a couple of metres away from the try line. Big opportunity for the Netherlands. Penalty again.
Has to be a yellow card in this situation.
14 off feet.
Andrea Piardi will not take this easily. I'm just looking to see. I think there's some changes to the Belgian pack. Maxime Jadot, I can see on there. Guillaume Benoit as well.
Well, let's just take a moment to witness some really impressive piece of skill. I've said before, like the look of Van Oort coming on, his dynamism, his energy. That was taking the ball to the line. It was backing yourself and was just, 12 inches away from being over the try line. Great bit of skill. Quite how Laley stayed on the pitch after that, I'm not quite sure, because if you're deliberately killing a ball 5 metres from your try line, that's a yellow every single day of the week.
Simple 9-iron from the Netherlands, number 12. And there is the first points of the second half.
Time off. Yeah, Philippe.
And here's a better strike. Dissects the post to the middle. 13 points to that man. 2 right thumbs up.
The officials just chatting. I'm just trying to listen in on what's being said, but
How's the Italian already?
9.
not much better than my English. Yep. Changes into that Belgian front row. Luca Soto being replaced by Julien Massini.
Yeah. Time back on.
Benji Garcia on as the there he is, the Netherlands scrum half. Rademacher's had a good game, as you
Use
said.
it. Stay back. Stay. Come back. Come back.
Former French Rugby League player wearing the 26 jersey this afternoon. Taking the right club out the bag for that one. That's the other thing, Rob. Now that these subs coming off the bench have got to get into the rhythm of this game very, very quickly. They're into the final half hour, and they have got to make sure there's no mistakes. Easily said than done. And make sure that they contribute in the same tempo that the others have been playing at.
Yeah, I think that's made all the more harder by the fact it's such an erratic rhythm. I think you'll be looking at arrhythmia more so here.
Well, Belgium building up some momentum. Fourth, the rebound wall. Good defence. Campbell coming up quickly, but an offside call, I think, against the Dutch.
Just haven't seen enough of Torf ball in hand. He looks devastating as both a runner and a playmaker. Big framed number 12 for this Belgium side, but just not able to get enough time on the ball to make a difference at the moment. But this is a real chance now. I've said before, no matter what number that these big forwards are wearing, this is their bread and butter. They love the driving wall. The Belgians will be walking toward this with a real sense of adrenaline.
Number 8.
Alan Williams talking to his backs, knowing full well we're probably not going to see the ball here. But on the back of the ball, what you have got as an option is that aforementioned man next to Williams. Torf runs a short line off the back of it, and they're both really good weapons. Driving the ball with a big, powerful 12.
So, Belgium with a real opportunity. There's Alexandre Renier on debut for Belgium. Finds his man. Good darts from the replacement hooker. Comes round to retake the ball. Ball to ground a couple of metres short, but it's still opportunity is there for the Black Devils. Going round to the right, Rat. And Kinyo Piardi in great position to see ball held up. No way down for Dumolda there.
So number 2, collapse. Sorry, boys, without the comps, it's difficult for us. We call it number 2, collapse. So we come back for the penalty, okay?
Penalty against Mark Darlington.
You can see it here, just gets underneath to hold him up, but it's preceding that. I think they went back to the original maul that it was brought down by Darlington, getting underneath it. There are very few ways to legally stop a driving maul if it's set up correctly from this close. And I think we'll be seeing a very similar tactic once again.
Back please, boys. Back please.
The Dutch under duress. Safe take at the front. And the Belgian forwards try and rev the gears now.
Stay up.
Working their way towards the line. They're up and they're over. Is there any visual evidence for Andrea Piardi to give the try? Let's have a listen.
Time off. Dante, tu hai qualcosa o palla alta come ho visto io?
No chance of giving this one.
Okay, so it's held up. No, it's held up. It's got 5, okay?
Yeah, never going to be a scenario that we could make a decisive call.
But net gain, not a bad position to be in. Interesting, in a few years it might not be the same outcome, with some areas around the world experimenting and that being now a dropout from underneath your post. So I think, net gain, you probably take this. You've gone from a driving maul to a now really dominant scrum position. And as I keep saying, they've got some potent weapons in this back line. The Flemish get it amongst the likes of Loft. They've got a good chance of getting over that line because they're getting now towards this part of the game where they need a score.
Yeah, quarter of an hour into the second half. And to see that 0 still on the scoreboard will rankle big time with the Belgians right now. They've won their last 7 meetings with the Netherlands. In fact, the last time the Dutch went left with the victory was March 2004. Gives you a fair indicator of the supremacy that the Black Devils have had.
I just like the lines that Gardner's been feeding them as well about, your legacy, where you want to go to with this. Showed them a back history of where they were and saying, realistically, you're 80 minutes away from setting a new parameter in the last 20 years. And that can be a huge thing in the back of your mind, knowing when it gets hard and dark and pretty filthy.
And his
Really
team
nice
have been doing really well. You think the only team to beat the Netherlands since the beginning of 2018, so 3 years ago, are Portugal, and they were, their Achilles heel on 2 or 3 years when they've come second to the Portuguese. So they've been able to build a confidence within that group of men as well, albeit, they haven't been able to get together all at the same time over the last 14, 15 months because of the pandemic. But the belief is beginning to be there.
Totally, and the belief and confidence and that, mental preparation coming into it of knowing that winning is a habit and you get into being tested in later stages of the games and coming through it. Everything is just about building psychologically that dominance in games like this, and been really impressed in what I've seen from them. And individuals like the man we just saw there, Wolf van Dijk, they've got individual capability as well as this team ethos, and combine the two together, they're a good looking team.
I want this side better, okay? Master of you, both of you, stay straight.
Take 3, or is it 4?
Stand back on. Shoulder, and stay straight. Close to him, to space, okay? Close to space, please. You must stay straight, okay? Let's go.
Come on!
Crouch!
Come on!
Dit is een boy!
Roof die bal!
Set! Steady!
Netherlands getting the shove on, but the ball's still there for the Black Devils. The maul is called. Belgium working it round the side. Penalty against Van Dijk.
7 from the side, advantage.
Belgium will know that they need to make something of this visit to the enemy territory. They need to come up with some points, some which way.
Take all away!
So near.
Stay back!
They go again and drive, and this time they're over the whitewash. This time they got the 5 points. The forwards were never going to release it out wide, but they've got the vital try to break the bagel. It's taken them 57 minutes of this game, and Belgium on the board.
I was thinking previously it was doing really well in defence, how the Dutch team were targeting the ball. You might get over the line, but it's how you get the ball down that's all important. And 2 occasions before that, managing to stop Belgium getting it down, but they're just not able to ride that initial collision. And the ball was managed to be freed up and then whacked down with authority. And there's only so long you can defend on your try line here. It's tentative, kind of half stop starting, and because you're on your heels as a defensive player there, it's so easy to get barreled over and then free arm to get the ball down.
Talking of barrels, I think it is that movable barrel Maxime Jadot who was on the end of that, doing a great job off the bench. And Williams, did that go over? I heard the ricochet from the post.
Number 1.
Once you're on the board, you'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Alan Williams takes the extras.
There's
Now,
a very different dynamics this game now already. You can hear it, you can sense it, and you can see it. You go within a score difference. And in games like this, anything can happen. This transition's all important now.
absolutely right, Vix. You can feel the change in expectation almost.
Stay back!
Williams with that clearance. But Campbell is going to pick it up. That little hop, skip and the step from the Kiwi. Garcia feeds out to those forwards, and now as we come towards the end of the third quarter of this game, Holland now I should say the Netherlands, trying to just make sure that they keep the phases linked together, not throwing the 50-50 pass, making the advance they need to, to try and have some sort of response to that Belgian try. Andy Darlington, one of the Darlos, as the brothers are called. Penalty goes again.
And these are little momentum shifts again. You can hear the crowd getting into this one. Albeit probably just players and surrounding officials, but that sense of energy is really coming through. You compete a little bit harder, you run a little bit faster, have more aggression when you do carry. And there's two ways this can go. You've got to start thinking that the Netherlands players have to really grab it and control it and squeeze it out of them. Similarly, if they don't and Belgium grasp it and utilise this energy and get that next score, then that's going to make for a compelling 20 minutes.
Stay.
Presentation not clever from a Belgian point of view.
Who'd be a coach, Wardy? You know, you're sensing it, you're feeling it, probably saying the same things you just mentioned there about wonderful opportunity and chance to grab that next pivotal score, and then it comes back down to these errors that we saw in the first half.
See Gillian Benoit, there he is, packing down on this near side. Just a month ago, he was on the Container Cup, a TV show, which was for elite sports athletes. They can contest in a container, would you believe? He didn't win, he came fourth, but he had the credit of actually breaking the rowing machine, which, as any elite sportsman knows, that is some kudos to do that. Now he'll be looking to make a difference on the park, though. Packing down at flanker. Into the final quarter of this match. 6 points to difference. The golden ticket on offer to the Rugby Europe Championship, and who knows where else beyond that. Garcia. Nice little step.
Stop.
Schmart puts it high. Hart takes the ball and two tacklers with him.
No, we're not with the fit.
And this is the game management that you were talking about, Vix, and making sure you're playing in the right areas and then just keeping pressure on your opposition and seeing what comes of it without overcommitting.
Leave him. Stop. Away. Thank you.
The same for Belgium now. You don't have to try and win the game in the next minute, but just try and not lose it. You can play tactically still, so kick the ball down. These box kicks all important. Compete for it and then go again. Keep building like a tennis, just slowly moving down the pitch.
Efficiency of execution, a certain sense of pragmatism needed. The clock at the moment is the Netherlands' friend, but that could soon change. Well, taking advantage of that breakdown, and they'll be in no rush to reset this.
So, no, after the kick.
We catch it. So then the ball comes back to us normally after the kick. It's the rule.
Jimmy. Okay, 6 change.
There's that conversion from Williams. And that was the inside.
Posted in. Yeah.
Yeah. In off.
It's a challenge, but you must calm down, okay? To speak with him. I don't want to speak with him again. Okay, you must calm down, and you must calm down too, okay? Calm down, okay? Yeah.
Now, Jens Torf was saying to the referee that the catcher didn't have the chance to get the ball back, which means that this should be a Belgian put-in. Here we go.
Black possession is black scrum.
Well,
Okay? It's
is
black
that
Are they correcting it?
Black possession, no true
Fair
no
play.
black, okay?
And because it was unplayable, he's right in what he says. And that's where you need these leaders to really step up and to converse in a sensible way with the referee.
Yep. Torf wearing the colours of Mont-de-Marsan at the moment, but before that he had 5 years at Perpignan at Racing Matra for a year before that, so very experienced. Just turned 29 last Thursday.
Stay straight.
So really the peak of his rugby playing careers. Penalty to Belgium.
Well, these scrummages are telling their own story. What a narrative we've seen with this. Absolute dominance from Belgium in the first half. And then the Netherlands in the first 20 minutes of the second half start pounding the scrum, and suddenly upper hand goes back to black.
Well, this is what I'm saying, Vix, in terms of where the substitutes come on, the difference to the equation that they're making, good and bad, and how that affects the flow of the game.
And one thing that's not going to change with the substitutes is this driving more capability. 5-man line out, so looking to try and get their men in set and then perhaps even let the backs join it and get them over the line.
Well, look at the momentum in that maul for Belgium. They get the penalty call as well, but they ain't stopping short until they get to try time.
Number 5.
Benoit knew they had the advantage, and there's a yellow card. And I think Christopher Van Leeuwen is seeing yellow. There he is. So the pressure building up on the visitors even more so. Number down 5. To 14 for the next 10 minutes. Well, this is some sporting story. You always want, in the best sporting encounters, you want the question mark as to the outcome. I think we're still seeing that question mark right now, and we're 65 minutes into the game.
No, it's one for the purists as well, Ward, isn't it? Ultimately, this game could well be won by these huge men up front. Not perhaps the most athletic looking, but I tell you what, it doesn't matter, does it? If you can do your job well, get in that tight formation, you are going to bundle over any try line.
A game for all shapes and sizes. Line-out works well to Benoit.
Held up, score 5.
So this is a wonderful tactic from the Netherlands here. We said before about them targeting the ball. They did not compete at that driving ball. They let it happen. Subsequently, targeted the ball and held them up. My only frustration, and this is more at what it could be, is that they have been rewarded with this amazing defence by having a 5-metre scrum against you. No competition here. Target the ball. 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them. What an amazing defensive idea. And yet they have not been rewarded at all for that. And I think this is something that's going to change in the world of rugby going forward, definitely.
Not like this. Of course, but please give me a good picture. Okay? Not
A
audio.
good picture is what Andrea Piardi wants. I'm not sure who's going to be the principal artist in this one, though. It's a Belgian put-in. It's a big moment.
This is huge.
Crouch. Bye. Set.
Rock solid Belgian scrum, but they're not going to make any headway. Mulder, almost but not quite.
No hands! No hands!
Looking to see who's around. It moves out again. Desperate Dutch bodies trying to get in the way and divert the flow. So close. Again, the advantage is there to Belgium.
The advantage of feet. Advantage again, 7 offside.
Could be another yellow card as well, of course. He's already given one. Torf, Jens Torf, the co-captain, takes his team up over the line, and finally that pressure is turned into points. And it's big points as well, with a conversion to come.
Just give a yellow card for this.
Oh, we say finally, Toff gets his hands on the ball. This man is devastating. As we saw, every time he plays for this Belgium team, he's going to take them forward, carries hard. No right to score this. Right foot step, beats 3 defenders on his way to score the try, to potentially give them the lead. That is a captain's innings, barreling through the defenders on the back of some impressive attacking play. Defensively, Netherlands capitulating penalty after penalty, lucky to be with only 14 men at this point of the game. But that is a great score, and what a storyline here we have in Waterloo.
So we've had to wait 29 minutes for Belgium to have the lead, but Alan Williams, their highest point scorer, has made sure that their noses are now in front. We're moving towards the final 11 minutes of this game. Netherlands down a man. How are they going to work themselves back into this one? As you say, Rob, Korf making such a difference. Last time out, it was Irv the Swerve Murek who was in that midfield for Belgium. He was supposed to be playing for Hartbury University against Saracens this afternoon. That one unfortunately pulled off. But with Piron moving from 12 to 13, Jens Torf has come in and made a difference to his team. Deflected kick. I think that's Netherlands. There it is. What are the Orange going to work from here? Campbell trying to find a way through that black line. 10 minutes left on the clock. All to play for. Rody Bush on for his debut, wearing the 17 jersey for the Netherlands. Koolman dumped backwards but gets the release to his captain. Little chip through the ricochet, doesn't work for Geordie Hopp. Gonna have to be careful they don't get pinged here. Garcia just checking the call from outside.
Way black. Good. What's available?
Good handling from the Netherlands. Van Dijk throws a speculator. Referee says play on though.
Black.
And Holland,
Stay back.
say the men in orange diving through and they've got it. Here's opportunity Knox for the Dutch and they're going to take it. Kurenka. Fishman's got all the points up to now, but now his midfield partner is on the board. And the Netherlands take the lead back from their host. What a score.
Oh, look how much it means to them all. Buenka with it. Outside line, lovely break to seal it. You mean I have to think back to what happened on the left-hand side. Van Dijk almost throwing it away for no reason, but somehow managed to get the ball back with their men in orange, and then the interplay. I really like the dynamism from what Garcia's added, and then just gets on the outside of his man, celebrating before he's put the ball down, which is always a little bit of a sore point for some, but that is a brilliant counter punch.
And with a man down.
Time is off, so take your time. Huh? No way.
Well, lots of heavy breathing going on across the park. That's the debutant Rainier. Just struggling with that last impact.
We said at the back end of that first half, it was so frenetic, length after length after length of the play. Meant that it was always going to open up in this last 20. The yellow card clearly making an impact for how the Netherlands defend, but also take nothing away from their attack, speculating, challenging, breakdown, and ultimately getting that score that really did need to quell this significant momentum that was driving forward for the Belgian team.
That's a big 2 points from the boot of Ishma. Oh, here we go. I would speculate that we haven't seen the final try scored of this game. 8 minutes left. What have they got left? Exhausted bodies, tired legs, They've got to find it now from both sides. Kuhlman holding on for too long. And here's the response that the Black Devils were after.
Oh, totally. I mean, I know that Benoit was dummying the quick tap there, but very quickly you grab him and say, this is our chance now. Don't you dare do anything other than kick this ball in that corner and commit to this line. Fully expected again to see a whole host of players join this one. Massive moment for these men who thrive on this driving maul. Very unlikely that the Netherlands will compete against this. You don't have to throw it too high, just secure it.
Job one is done. De Mulder provides the ball. Here come the forwards, driving. Legs pumping. Muscles going, and they're up and over the line, and they're there. They've had to revert to default maybe, but Belgium have done it to get another try on the board. It's Thomas de Mulder, the number 8, who was in the middle of it.
Any penalty that they get in their opponent's half, you know what they're going to do. Kick it to the corner, you know what's coming, but you cannot stop it.
1 minute and a half.
Williams is waiting for a tee as he looks to try and add 2 pivotal points to this. Looking at the clock, nervous times for both teams.
He'll be delighted he's a left-footed kicker, but still, this is the
5 minutes of
the 2-foot putt, isn't it?
We can play 5 minutes. I hope for you. No.
Alan Williams slides it through to put his team back in front. We've got 5 minutes left to go in this critical encounter. The hosts have just pushed themselves back in front. Can they hold out?
Time off.
Have the Netherlands got something to add to the mix?
And we're at the mercy here, the referees watch, so don't pay too much attention to that top left, albeit that scoreline. That's a pivotal one.
That's a good point.
Next moments, so important for how momentum keeps
5
shifting.
minutes from now, after the kick, 5 minutes, okay?
There we go, good clarity.
There we go. Thank you, Andrea.
13. Yep.
More changes. Guillaume Perron, the engineer from Blagnac,
11.
is going off, and I think Jordi Hop is as well. Hop was a late call for this man, Dan van der Voort.
Okay, ready to go? Time back on.
Here we go.
Side.
5 minutes from now.
Deco release.
Discipline, critical. Skills, critical. Composure, paramount.
No.
Who has got what it takes to take this game? It's there
Him.
in the mix still.
Back by black. Back by black again. No, he's back by black. Play on.
Konang picks up the loose ball, but he's driven backward. This is when Alan Williams, well, the Williams brothers indeed, in that halfback role, their experience will be so critical. But just as I say that, he puts it straight out and puts his team back under the cosh.
Well, it's a game of inches, isn't it? You could see exactly what he's trying to do with that monster left boot, but just slightly overcooked it, and because it went out on the full line out from where he kicked it deep inside this Flemish territory. And again, poses the question now, what are the Netherlands going to do? They know they've got to try and do something to win the game, but it doesn't have to be off every single phase. You can still build and drive towards something.
Garcia gets it back to his number 8.
Away, black of feet.
The orange shirts flood around the breakdown. Penalties there. 2 hands on the head in the Belgian ranks, and this is where the discipline is really going to be tested out.
Do you know the score? So we can make a decision.
Do you know the score? Somebody said there. Did you hear that?
I did hear that. I tried not to hear that. I mean, how players are even asking that question? Albeit there's not a 30-foot scoreboard. There is a scoreboard on the right-hand side of the field. So this beggars the belief, when people do watch games, you assume that players know the scenario, you know every single nuance of it, every single point, all makes a difference. To not know the score, that's slightly concerning. That's why he's on the open side, not a flight half.
He didn't say no. Fair dues. He didn't say no. And I'm sure that man, David Vierschma, does know the score and does know the importance of this kick.
Albeit, hasn't been kicking overly well. This is a huge ask. Straightforward's not always the best for people that draw a kick.
Ice blood running through the veins of David Vierschma to take the Netherlands back in front. Wow, what a game we're seeing. Waterloo has been the venue for a quite outstanding contest between these two. 2 minutes left. This restart critical. Campbell takes securely.
Use it.
5 successful kicks from Vierschma in his total of 18 points. Good commitment coming through from Van der Voort. And they got the ball. Bring it up to the 22. Belgium on the ropes here right now. Desperately trying to get back into formation. The Netherlands working to this short side. Blake Nightingale, another Kiwi, working for the Netherlands cause. And 21.
Release, black. Ball is there, ball is there, ball is there.
Ball there for the visitors once again. We're into the final minute. The clock is the Netherlands' friend. They just need to hold on to the ball now.
Stay. No, we have time.
Belgium desperate for possession. Desperate to have one last chance. No rush from the men in orange.
Stay.
Counter up, trying to produce the ball, but it's not there. Garcia happy just to keep the ball moving. Campbell runs into a black wall. 5 seconds. The Netherlands are heading back into the Rugby Europe Championship. Time is gone. And Netherlands have done it. They've beaten Belgium for the first time in over 17 years. What a contest it's been. Just look at the elation for the men in orange and the desolation for those in black. Rob Vickerman, that was a contest and a half, wasn't it?
What a fantastic game, Wardy. The goosebumps are out, the hairs are standing. You feel for the Flemish, but that is a monumental game. 4 lead changes in the last 20 minutes. Absolutely everything put out there on the field by these teams. They said before that the Dutch were 80 minutes from playing at their highest level in 2 decades, and they have got there, and look at what it means to them.
And they were really put through the mill by their hosts as well. 13-0 up until a quarter of an hour into this second half, and then Belgium woke up. Their forwards providing the ammunition. 2 tries from up front, driving mauls. Jens Torf with the 3rd try as well. But that scoreline means that for the first time in 19 years, the Netherlands will be part of the top tier of Rugby Europe competition. they can now get themselves set for a trip to Georgia, to Tel Aviv, at the end of next month, the 26th of June, to be precise. For Belgium, well, such disappointment. They will have hoped and believed that they could take this contest, take this encounter, as they have done so many times before. They'd won the last 7. But the jumping joy of the Oranger there signifies just how big a contest this has been. The first of 11 finals to go to the World Cup. Well, they've passed the first one. Potential high life for this lowland team is really just waiting to appear. Before that calendar starts, they've got that trip against Georgia, probably the most prominent and dominant team in the Rugby Europe Championship, no question about that. You would think they will have that Europe 1 qualifier. But the Dutch Viking, Mark Walker, will be elated. He's gone 1 from 1 on captaincy, the first time he's been in charge of his national team. And 28 today, what a birthday present it is for the Netherlands skip. Going to be difficult for those guys to pick themselves up. Real difficult for Frederick Koch and his training, his management compatriots. That's going to take a long time to recover from. They're going to have to just wait for it to pass off. But it's going to take a long time, and you can see the emotion coming through the Belgian head coach there. Such a tight game. And just 2 points the difference. But the centres of attention from the Netherlands did it all on the board. David Wiersma with 18 points, including that try. His outside centre Bart Virenka with a critical try, as it was just after the half-hour mark in that second half. And that's what ultimately has taken the Netherlands into the Rugby Europe Championship once again. They will be thankful that the Dutch government allowed them an exceptional rule to get the top national competition in the Netherlands to be played, and helping the national team as a consequence prepare for the match. Huge disappointment in the Belgian camp, of course there is. A fair few players missing. Irv Murek, Julian Berger, of course, the scrum half, Craig Dowsett, the fullback, who's now retired from international competition. But likewise, in the opposition camp, at least half a dozen players missing. But those guys did the job, and what a job it was. Well, their celebrations, you would think, were going to go on for a long time. Salvatore Zandona, the Belgian president, just watching on there. But let's hear the Dutch captain.
How do you feel right after this game?
Yeah, we were fucking good. We feel really good. We prepared so well for this. I think the last 4 months were not easy for everybody. COVID times, those stuff. But we build it up. We have a big squad. We needed everybody till the last minute. So it's a team effort, so perfect.
Okay. And what made the difference today, in your view?
I think that we kept training for those 4 months, because at the end, I think our fitness made our still got our minds clear, and we could make the decisions to score the last 3 points. So I think that's what won us the game.
Can you tell us a bit more about this? How frequently did you meet up with the lads? How frequently did you train during the past months to prepare
We had
this
this game first before it got cancelled. I think then we played every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday. Or we did trainings because the competition in the Netherlands was off. So we meet it up quite regularly. Then this game got cancelled once. And after that, I think we had 1 month off. Then our competition started again, and we kept building to this game. So actually, that was the only thing on our radar.
Beautiful. That's quite a lot in a pandemic context. So it did make the difference. And what are the next steps for you? Last question. What are the next steps now?
We play Georgia. So we never played this. So there's going to be a good party, I think.
Well, enjoy yourself, man. Congratulations. Well deserved today.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Well, some rather Anglo-Saxon language from the Dutch Viking. Apologies if you took any offence to that, but you can understand the emotion and elation just pouring through the body of that man celebrating his 28th birthday today with that huge victory. The Belgian president, well, how disappointed will he be? But those men there, well, they won't care now. They can set themselves up for some trips now. The first one, as Mark Walker said, will be to Georgia. And both Rob and I can vouch for what a great trip that is, as we did the Under-20 Championship there not so long ago. It was in Tbilisi then, but this one is going to be Tel Aviv.
You're one of the co-captains of the Belgian side. How do you feel right after this game?
Sad and deceived.
What made the difference today, in your view?
I don't know. Just congrats to the Dutch team.
Okay.
We didn't play well, that's all.
Okay. What are the next steps for you and the team?
Rebuild everything. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to rebuild everything. This is a big knock on the head. It's going to be hard to stand up again after that. But we'll make it as a family.
Wish you all the best in that rebuild, man.
Thank you.
Take care.
Well, Rob Vickerman, interesting words there. Sad and deceived. Now, of course, some may get lost in translation, but interesting choice of words from Tom Adint.
You could see the sheer frustration on his face, and having been sidelined a fair few times, to have those very difficult conversations, to witness something as, emotionally, I suppose, exposed as that. It's never great to see, is it? But I think, in that heat of the moment, you're always going to find negatives because you've just lost. But clearly, there's lots of positives for Belgian rugby. We talk about, 12,500 players there.
How do you feel right after this game?
Oh, it's just amazing. Sorry.
Oh, it's fine, man. Enjoy it.
I think listening to the players sort of sums it up. They worked so hard, and they had to work hard again today, and we knew that. We knew Belgium were going to come with a lot of physicality. In the first half, we sort of had it our way, and then in the second half, when we started well, and then Belgium came back with the maul and taking it to our forward pack, and the energy that the boys got, and they just kept going, and to finish the way they did, and to finish off and get the win, it's just an amazing feeling.
Beautiful. What were your words at half-time, man?
We wanted to start the second half really well. We felt we had momentum, and I think we did that. But we then after that 10-minute period, then we sort of fell away a little bit. Discipline at the breakdown, gave away a few penalties, and then we really allowed Belgium to get their momentum, which we knew they'd get momentum off that forward pack with that rolling maul, and we just didn't deal with it. And then we got a yellow card, and the guys were fighting really hard to stay in the game because we were still winning at that stage. But then Belgium, when they got momentum, full credit to them for really taking it to us and attacking us in the right areas of the field and scoring their opportunities when they got them. And then it was just a seesaw battle. And then we'd score, then they'd kick off, and then they'd score, and then we'd kick off. And then, and that's just great. It just shows how much it meant to both teams to win the game.
Okay, last question. I've been asked to ask the last question. What are the next steps for you, lads?
Well, we need to take the moment to enjoy this. let the boys have a bit of a rest, and then we've got to go again. Obviously, we've got Georgia in a few weeks, and they're preparing to play South Africa, so that's going to be a massive challenge for us, and we want to embrace that, and we can't wait, mate.
All the best, and congratulations.
Thanks
Take
a
care,
lot.
man.
Well, Zane Gardner said before this match, the wood has been chopped and the fire's ready to be lit. And we saw the Netherlands on fire, pardon the pun, but they really, really stepped up to the plate, Rob Vickerman. That was such an impressive performance. Away from home, on a 4G pitch, yeah, they trained on it, that was no surprise, but the way that they played their game was outstanding.
And just look at what it meant. I mean, two ranges of emotion.
So, Fred, how do you feel right after this game?
Absolutely disappointed, of course. Disappointed not for me, for the guys, because it will be very difficult to prepare this match. And of course, when you don't play in the first half, it's very, very hard after that to make a coming back. We do it, but also we do a lot of penalties or faults. We will check on video, because I think it's perhaps 2 or 1 or 3 are not very easy to see. But I'm very disappointed, and I'm very, very sorry for the words, but it was hard. It was hard to do this. And now it's hard to lost. And of course, as Mandela said, you can touch the ground with your knee, but after that you must step up. And we need step up, not for me, not for the team, but for the supporters, for all the players in the rugby schools. And it's not a great day today for the Belgian rugby, but I'm still confident. I'm still confident about our strength, because we can do it. We can do it, and we must do it.
Okay, and what would be the first steps of that rebuild process?
But of course, play in a championship, because we can see in the first half we have no rhythm. It was very hard for the guys, and perhaps the difficulties. It was that for the first time. Also, I speak about the game model, and I don't recognize the team as we play against Cognac 50 days ago. Yeah. But of course, we must work. We must work, and of course, the defeat is my fault and not the fault of the players. And I support them. I'm with them, and I push them.
Well, I wish you, and we wish you all, to bounce back after that defeat, and to make it a strength to surprise us, like the lads managed to do it in the past. All the best in that process.
I hope so. Thanks for that. And
pleasure, man.
Sorry for the loss. Sorry.
That's fine.
Well, Frederick quoting Nelson Mandela as his call to arms for Belgian rugby. It is a huge body blow, no question about that. But, well, we all hope it's a beginning of a new start for Belgium because of that scoreline. 23-21, but don't forget at half-time it was 10-0, so the host actually won the second half, 21 points to 13. Rob, just take us through these highlights.
The magnitude of this game, Audie, we just witnessed in those interviews, the endeavour that we're seeing here and effort that players are putting in, the first inroads for the Dutch to score. But sport just provides so much, doesn't it? And we've had so much taken away from us. You can see these players celebrating toward the end. This is the building shots as the points were accrued. For the last 2 hours of this game really was magical. We have seen the spectrum of emotions, knowing how much impact it's going to have on both of these nations' rugby efforts. And you see from how the Belgium team got back into it, used their power and size to try and give themselves a chance to win the game. They thought they were there. The lead changing 4 times in the last 20 minutes must have just completely flabbergasted at the end when they did end up losing it. But these are the hard yards the big men are putting in, and they realise at this point But their secret weapon was their driving maul. They went back to it. Wonderfully converted. And this stranglehold they had up front maintained for the next 20 minutes. But you've got to feel for these Belgian players, and clearly having heard their really powerful words there, this is going to be a rebuilding process. And each time you have these experiences, it can make you or break you. And we just hope that for them, collectively, and the likes of that man in shot there, Toff, they come together and it goes forward. Because this blow against them in the latter stages of the game was just really difficult at times to watch, wasn't it? Great game. Wonderful effort from both teams.
Yeah, it certainly was. And, well, I say the centres of attention did it on the scoreboard for the Netherlands. But this was about a squad effort, no question about that. And Zane Gardner will be delighted with the way that his team stood up to the challenge, found their backbone when those Belgian forwards were really mounting such a threat. And yet his team still found the composure to hold on, despite losing the lead, as you say, Rob. On 2 occasions, saw that scoreboard tick the wrong way when that man Williams put conversions through. But ultimately, it was down to a kick, and it was a kick from the vice-captain, Wiersma, once again. You just see the all, we talk about total rugby and everything else, and it is total rugby. That's why it's a game for all shapes and sizes, and everybody contributing to that historic occasion for the Netherlands. What a win, what a match. Well, that's it for this afternoon. Thank you for your company. It has been outstanding viewing. Great to have you alongside with us as well. And Rob Vickerman, a big thanks to you as well. The Bene Crunch has been won by the Netherlands.